Here's a question that sounds simple. If houses are too expensive, shouldn't house prices come down? Most people would immediately say yes. After all, if food becomes cheaper, that's good. If petrol becomes cheaper, that's good. If electricity becomes cheaper, that's good. So why does everyone suddenly get nervous when house becomes cheaper? Because the price has fallen? Why do politicians constantly talk about making housing more affordable, but never that they want house prices to fall? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Australia has accidentally created an economy where millions of people need house prices to keep rising. And that's why housing has become one of the most politically dangerous topics in the entire country. Imagine you own a house worth $1 million. Next year, it's worth $1.1 million. You didn't build anything. You didn't invent anything. You didn't work extra hours. Yet according to your net worth, you just became $100,000 richer. That's the magic of property. For decades, Australians have been taught that housing isn't just shelter, it's wealth, it's retirement planning, it's financial security, it's an investment strategy. And that's where the problem starts. Because if politicians openly say, we want house prices to fall, millions of homeowners hear something completely different. They hear, we want your biggest asset to become less valuable. And that's political suicide. Remember, around 2/3 of Australians own their homes. That means there are more voters who already own property than voters desperately trying to buy one. And politicians know it. Let's do a thought experiment. Imagine your local supermarket announces that groceries are now 20% cheaper. People celebrate. Imagine fuel prices fall 20%. People celebrate too. Now imagine house prices fall 20%. Suddenly, nobody is celebrating. Why? Because a house is one of the few things people buy hoping it becomes more expensive later. Nobody buys milk hoping it doubles in value. Nobody buys petrol hoping it appreciates. But millions of Australians have built their financial future around property appreciation. If almost any other item in the Consumer Price Index falls in price, politicians call it good news. But when housing falls, the conversation suddenly becomes complicated. Because housing isn't treated like a product, it's treated like a wealth machine. And those are very different things. Here's where things get really strange. Politicians often say they want housing to be more affordable, but affordability and rising house prices are fighting each other. Think about a game of musical chairs. Every year, prices rise faster than wages. Let's say a house increases by $100,000. Did the average worker get a $100,000 pay rise? Probably not. So every year, the finish line moves further away. This is why younger Australians feel frustrated. They're told to save harder, budget better, work more. But if house prices grow faster than incomes, the target keeps moving. Imagine trying to catch someone running away from you while you're walking. You might never catch them. That's how first home buyers feel. And it's why politicians keep using phrases like improve affordability, give Australians a fair crack, support home ownership. Notice something missing? Nobody says, we want prices to fall. Because affordability sounds positive, falling prices sounds politically dangerous. Now let's talk about something that sounds boring, but is incredibly important. Negative gearing. Imagine you buy an investment property. The rent you collect isn't enough to cover your costs. Normally, that sounds like a bad investment. But Australia's tax system has historically allowed investors to use those losses to reduce their taxable income. So while they're losing money today, they're betting the property will become worth much more tomorrow. Then there's capital gains tax discounts, which means when investors eventually sell, part of their profit receives favorable tax treatment. Together, These policies helped make property one of Australia's favourite investments. But now, the government wants to change some of those rules. Therefore, the investors are wondering, will properties still be as attractive? When investors become uncertain, they stop buying. Then, demand slows. And when demand slows, prices soften, which is exactly what we're starting to see.